The tech industry has continued to grow since its introduction during the third industrial revolution. And this growth was further expanded when we developed the internet and also were able to commercialize it. And even the development of the Web 1.0. Now, this growth has largely necessitated the need for tech professionals. And tech professionals are needed globally, but these are not the only reasons why tech professionals are needed globally. Because, in fact, there are three major reasons why tech professionals are needed globally. One being the fact that there is continuous innovation within the tech industry. We've seen how innovation started from the discovery or the development of computer systems, and that growth has continued to when computer systems was personalized, and we saw the development or the discovery of the internet. We saw how Web 1.0 was developed. We saw how AI, now we're in the realm of AI, there's been Internet of Things, there's blockchain technology. So new innovations continue to come forth from this industry. And this is the reason why continually there will always be need for tech professionals. But that's not all. There's also a second reason why tech professionals are needed globally. And that is the concern of that's what even gave birth to the concept of digital transformation. Every sector wants to digitize their operation. Every sector is trying to go into the internet. Every sector is trying to embed technology into their operations. So we're seeing the health sector trying to provide healthcare via the internet, and that's what's giving birth to the health tech. We're seeing the financial industry trying to digitize its operation, and now we're seeing that's what's giving birth to the fintech, the educational industry, giving birth to the health tech. So a whole lot of industries are trying to integrate integrate technology into their operations, and that is making the demand for tech professional to continue to grow. So that is the second reason, but there is a third one, and the third one is that there are criminals, and these criminals want to exploit these technologies that currently exist, and this technology they are not perfect, and these criminals would need to fight these criminals. And who fights these criminals? Cybersecurity professionals. So that's the reason why cybersecurity professionals are also needed globally. Yeah, this is cybersecurity professional, but they are also under the tech professionals. So these are the three reasons why tech professionals are needed globally. But that tech professionals are needed globally does not mean that everybody should go into tech. Because there are requirements, there are expectations for you to become a tech professional. There are things that is expected of you to have. There are skills that are expected of you to have, and that's what we'll be looking at today. So today we want to look at who the tech profession or who the tech industry is made for. So let's start. The tech industry is made for first those who can find problems. Truth be told, problems are everywhere, but these problems must first be identified. Identifying problems in tech is largely it requires a kind of skill. It's not, this is not, problem identification is something that everybody knows. So for you to be a tech professional, you want to come into tech, you need to first come to the state of realizing if you have this skill. Because for you to be able to identify problems in tech, you must first have analytical skill. Analytical skill is the ability for you to use your knowledge and trace backwards. So you want to know what you want to be able to find problems. There are problems, like for example, you work in the help desk now. You're called to come solve problems. You're called to come find the reason why certain things happen. So a system is shut down or a system is not working. The internet is not working. For example, you are in network support. The internet is not working. You're not called to come solve the problem pragmatically. You're come to find the problem, the cause of the problem. And once the cause of the problem is identified, there are those that are designed to solve the problem. If you can't solve the problem, that's fine. But generally, The tech industry is made for problem identifiers. So, and for you to be able to identify problems, you need to have it's expected that you have analytical skills. So analytical skill is not just your ability to find problems or to find, but to use your knowledge to trace backwards and identify patterns. Yeah, because you want to find patterns. It is the patterns that you find. You want to find the patterns of what is supposed to happen that is not happening. So as security professionals, for example, you want to find that you're called to come do a pen testing. You're called to come do pen testing. And what you're come to come do when you're called to come do pen testing, what you want to do is that you want to use the knowledge that you have to find patterns that criminals would want to explore. So as security professionals, in tech, there's what's known as what's it called? IT analyst. What does an IT analyst do? They want to analyze they want to analyze the infrastructure that is available and see how best they can not just profile solution, but beyond profiling solution to identify patterns that meet the requirements of the organization. So identifying problem is a major is not just a skill. These are those who can find problems are those that the tech industry needs. The tech industry needs those who can find problems. The tech industry needs those who can use their knowledge to trace backwards. The tech industry needs you are not just acquiring skills, but you're using that skills to identify patterns. So that's the first category of persons or skills or persons that the tech industry needs. It is expected of you as a problem identifier to be able to use your analytical skill to analyze problems and bring forth and identify patterns. Once you've been able to analyze problems and identify patterns, yeah, you meet that requirement to be to be a tech professional. The second category of persons or that the tech professionals need or that would succeed as tech professionals are those that can provide and also develop solutions. So solutions are needed, but before solutions are needed, problems needs to be identified. That's where the problem identifiers comes to play. They identify the problems, but once the problems are identified, in most cases they don't solve the problems because the problems needs to be solved by those with another kind of skills. But those who have these two skills can actually succeed more. There is the potency for one to succeed if you have analytical skill and you're able to solve problems. And for you to be able to solve problems, you should be able to have what is known as the critical thinking skills. So once problems are identified, it needs to be solved, and you solve them via solutions. So solutions are not found, they are created. In this case, in most cases, a problem identified needs critical thinking skills for the creation of a solution. And there are times whereby for you to create that solution in tech, for you to create that solution, you are expected to combine multiple products, multiple skills all together for you to create a solution. So for you to succeed or be a tech professional, you are expected to have critical thinking skills and critical thinking and problem solving skills. And this is the ability for you to do what? For you to be able to combine multiple products and multiple skills together for the purpose of solving a problem that has been identified. And there are solutions. Okay, now let me just say, solutions are provided through services such as consultancy, or solutions are developed through critical thinking and problem solving abilities. So not all solutions generally can be provided when you find yourself in the place of consultancy. And this is where, in most cases, for you to be a consultant, it's expected that you are able to first identify problems. But yeah, pragmatically, solutions are provided by consultants. But not just only consultants. There are a whole lot of professions in tech that requires you to be able to provide solutions and also develop solutions. For example, we have those who find themselves in architect role, whether you are an IT architect, being able to develop uh, different merge multiple infrastructures together to be able to develop one solution, or you are a security architect, being able to develop multiple security solutions together, multiple security infrastructures together to be able to solve a security problem. Or you are a developer, someone that develops website, combining multiple programming language skills for you to be able to come up with and whether you are coming up with an application, a mobile application, a web application, for example, for you to be a web application, you are a full stack web developer. You are expected to have front end understanding of front end programming languages like JavaScript. You are expected to have an understanding of HTML and CSS. You're expected to have an understanding of back end programming languages skills, like whether you want to learn PHP, you want to learn Python, you want to learn Ruby on Rails, a whole lot of programming languages on the back end. But that's not all. You are still expected to learn query languages like SQL, NoSQL, MongoDB, and all of that. So you will need to combine all of this together for you to be able to form one product. So being a solution being able to provide and develop solution is a critical skill that is needed in tech. And for you to be able to have that skill, you are first expected to have a critical thinking and problem solving skills. So there are a whole lot of even consultants, like tech consultants. You have to combine multiple infrastructures, multiple solutions, existing solutions, for you to provide a solution to a specific problem. So these are some of the areas that this is the second kind of persons that are needed within the tech industry. But that's not all. There's still a third category of persons that are needed in tech, and those are the innovators, or those that have the ability to innovate. So innovation is needed for the purpose of making solutions better. Innovation is needed for the purpose of making solutions efficient. Innovation is needed for the purpose of making solutions effective. Effective would mean that you're able to provide a solution with cheap or reduced cost. Efficient is that you are able to provide solution with not expensive, beyond expensive infrastructure. You're able to use minimal infrastructure to still arrive at a specific goal. So to innovate doesn't mean to solve problems. So for innovators, they are not. For those who are coming to tech with the skill of wanting to innovate, they really don't need problems to be able to innovate. They just want something to be better. So it's largely a fight to make the already existing solutions better. Take note of the fact that those who identify would identify the problem. Those who solve the problems, or who provide solution to the identified problems. But now those who innovate would want to make the solutions that have been profiled better. They want to make it efficient, and they want to make it effective as possible. So every solution can be better. Usually, for one to be able to provide a solution, there is need for the person to have creative intelligence. Creative intelligence is a skill needed in this aspect of tech. So for you to be able to come into tech and say, okay, I'm coming to tech to innovate, you should be able to have creative intelligence. And in fact, for you to have creative intelligence, there are 16 questions usually El Natingay gave us 16 questions that you would ask for one to be able to identify or discover, for one to be able to validate or ascertain that you have creative intelligence skills. And a whole lot of these questions And from his analysis of those questions, they said anyone that is able to get 11 out of the 16 questions has the potential of being someone with creative intelligence. So you need to first validate that you have creative intelligence, because having creative intelligence is the reason why the tech industry continues to innovate. The tech industry continues to innovate not because we have problem solvers, not because we have problem identifiers. The reason why the tech industry continue to innovate continue to grow is because we have innovators. Innovators that have moved, that has made the industry to be more efficient. Can you imagine the time we started using the internet, where the internet would require GPRS to be able to access the internet, or the time where we couldn't even access the internet from our phones? How about the time where for you to turn on a computer system, the computer can be as big as the studio I'm using for this production. So what has made the possibility for us to continue to grow, for the industry to continue to grow, for it to continue to evolve, for it to continue to expand, is because we have innovators. And the more innovators we have within the tech industry, the more innovations we would get, and the more innovations we would get, the more the more tech professionals would be needed, and the more tech professionals that would be needed, the more uh, problems that will be identified. The more problems that will be identified, the more solutions that will be solved. And the more solutions that will be solved, the more need for us to innovate in those solutions and get more innovators. So you find out that it is something that is cascading. It is something that overlap on each other. We first identify problems by the problem identifiers. Then the next is that we solve those problems that have been identified by those with critical thinking and problem solving skills. After which we want to innovate on those solutions to ensure that those solutions are efficient, those solutions are effective, and the solutions are better. So it is the combination of something known for uh, innovative solution is the combination of something known to create something new. So unlike problem solvers, or those that provide or develop solutions, they want to create something new for a problem that has been identified using a combination of existing resources. But for innovators, those that innovate on solutions, they want to use what is known to create something completely new. So their goal is not to focus on, they are not focused on a problem that has been identified. They are focused on a solution that has been developed and how that solution can actually be better. So this is where you get innovations such as the blockchain. Innovations such as the artificial intelligence. In blockchain, for example, is a combination of software programming language with a new kind of programming language called what's it called? Ethereum. Ethereum is not a programming language, but it is one of the guys that's used for programming language. That's Solidity. So the programming language that you use to create smart contracts is quite different from the regular programming language, which is an innovation. Innovation is not just about the programming language. In blockchain, the innovation is not just about the programming language. The innovation is also about the concept of distributed ledger, whereby every connected chain, every chain or block of chain is stored in a system somewhere on someone's server, and that person has a complete transaction information of the other person. So it's really not about developing. It's really not about providing solution to a problem, but innovating on solutions that already exist. There's already a solution when it has to do with financial transaction. There's already a solution where we are when it has to do with what's it called? Being able to carry out banking transaction. But what's not the need for blockchain? Because blockchain brought about removing the middleman, making it more efficient, making it more effective. Because now we don't need the middleman of the bank to be able to carry out financial transactions. They are cryptocurrencies. So it's quite important that innovation helps to do what? It helps to not just focus on problem, but innovate on existing solution. And that's the major difference between those who solve problems and those who prefer solutions and solve problems, and those who innovate on solutions. Because those who innovate on solutions just want to make the existing solutions better, and they do that usually by creating something new. So there are also innovations such as the artificial intelligence, which is one of the huge catastrophic shaker of the tech industry, because it's not just going to cause a lot of persons to lose job. It's also going to create a new dimension, a new kind of job. And we've seen the way the research has been in time past and how it has been progressive till when we got the ChatGPT of it was 2022, where ChatGPT came and made the internet to be made search engine to be something outdated. But yeah, that's what innovation can do. Innovation can do what? Can bring something new. And is the combination? Artificial intelligence is the combination of software programming language with the ability for you to develop, and data and infrastructure. Because this concept has always existed, but there was not enough data for us to be able to test it. But now, yeah, we had enough data because the internet was there. The internet helped us to gather data. Now we have gathered all the data that needs to be gathered, and we're using the data to train a model that is now helping us to carry out predictive analysis, that is helping us to carry out that is helping us to generate content and all of that. So we are seeing a whole lot of innovations happening within the tech industry, and the reason is because of the fact that innovators are in the industry. So if you want to be an innovator, if you want to come into tech, the first thing you need to do is to ask yourself, do I have analytical skill? If you don't have analytical skill, then ask yourself, do I have critical thinking and problem solving skill? If you don't have that, then you ask yourself, do I have creativity skill? Because creative thinking, which is creativity skill, is what you use in innovating. If you don't have these three, that's not all there is to tech. There are other areas you can serve, but not core tech. Because for you to serve in core tech, it's quite important for you to have these three skills or any of them, so that you can function effectively. But if you don't have these core skills, what then do you need? You need other skills like practicability skills, the ability to learn a skill and apply the skills without with little or minimal supervision. You also need communication skills, like those who are into IT sales. They need communication skills. They're not into core tech. They're not into the area of infrastructure. They're just there to sell tech. You also don't need all these skills for you to be an advocate, because tech needs advocates. We need people that can help us talk about the areas that needs to be spoken about. We need people that can help us advocate on certainties, certain practices, certain principles that is being that people are not talking about. So we need IT project managers. We need IT sales professionals. We need tech advocates, that can advocate for us in tech. So that you don't have the analytical skills, that you don't have the critical thinking skills, that you don't have the problem solving skills, that you don't have the creative intelligence skills, doesn't mean that you still can't function. But it means that you can function in core tech, because as long as tech is concerned, the core of tech requires any of these three. And now the good thing is this: you can have the analytical skills, you can have the problem solving skills, you can have the critical thinking and problem solving skills, you can have the creative intelligence skills, and that would mean that you can serve in all areas of tech. You can be a problem identifier, you can be a solution provider, or a developer, and you can also be an innovator, which is a good thing, because the more innovators we have, the more solutions we're able to innovate on, the more problem identifiers we have, the more problems we're able to identify, and the more problems we identify, the more solutions we're able to profile by the solutions providers. So that's what we have for you today in the tech mentorship session for this week. I want to appreciate yourself, and I remain your host and your presenter, Hanniel Jafaru, who is the tech mentor. Thank you, and see you next week.